Throughout life, experiences shape our reality, thinking, habits, perception of other people, and which influences our relationship, desires, and goals. These experiences also teaches us the difference between good and bad, right or wrong, who should be associated with, and who to stay away from. There will come a time in our life, whether it be during our childhood, teenage years, adulthood, or beyond, we begin to develop different interests, things we like to do, things we enjoy, such as our favorite foods, music, and other hobbies. While at the same time, we begin to identify things that we are naturally good at, things we can identify, apply, and understand better than most people can. While our natural talents and abilities may not have our full focus because we're worried about so many different interests, it still has a place in the back of our minds. So, for example, we have a friend named Mike. Mike likes to play the guitar. He plays in a small local band, plays for his friends and his family, but he's not really good at it. He doesn't even spend a lot of time getting better at playing the guitar. We all know Mike to be great with fixing cars. He can understand the anatomy and identifies issues with the car better than anyone can, and he can fix them pretty fast. Even though Mike likes to play the guitar, it's apparent that his gift, his natural talent, is dealing with cars. In situations like this, it's better for a person to apply more energy towards their natural talents than the things they just like. When that happens, you can understand what your purpose is in life, and you can also be able to serve others that you come in communication with your life. Now, from my personal experience, I think I'm on this path of moving towards my gift and my purpose. A gift is something that has been given to someone freely without anything in return for it. A gift is also the natural talent or the ability to execute something naturally at a high level. A purpose is the objective or the fulfillment of something that exists or is to be done. Now, as we connect these meanings, we come to the conclusion that there is something that has been given to us from an almighty source of power to execute in life. Now, that almighty source of power can be called God, Jesus, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah. However an individual communicates is their highest source of power. Now, how can we communicate and understand what our highest source of power is trying to tell us to do in life? Our highest source of power communicates to us through our conscious and divine intervention. So, the feeling of gratification, the feeling of doing something good for someone, that is your conscious, your godlike energy speaking to you. The ability to have a thought in your mind to execute something, that idea that keeps coming to your mind, that's the same energy. The feeling of regret, the feeling of doing something wrong, the understanding of did I make the right decision or not, that's your same godlike energy speaking to you as well. As for divine intervention, which is the direct involvement between the deity or gods and human involvement, there will come a time in your life where your higher source will communicate to you through a situation and through other people. Now, these situations can be good and bad. I know from my experience, when I got some bad signals to get out of a situation and I ignored it, I'm the one who suffered the consequences. So, I'm a football coach here at Union College. I also coach strength and conditioning, so I train a lot of different teams. And I believe my path here started 10 to 12 years ago. So for most of my childhood and teenage years, I was a two-sport athlete. I played football and basketball. Going to my senior year of high school, I got into my feelings, made some dumb decisions, and I decided to quit football, right? I thought I was more of a basketball player. I even skipped the entire training camp. That's something that you do not do, right? So the day before school started, I go to turn in my equipment to my assistant coach, Coach Rock. And he told me before he decided to make the decision, go see the head coach. Now I was just trying to avoid seeing my head coach because I couldn't look him in the eye and tell him that. So I go see Coach Fleming, who's my head coach, may God rest his soul. And he told me that I give you 3 years of my life. If you're going to go out like this, you don't want to do it because you'll regret it. And he talked the whole of my ear for about 30 minutes, and I decided to stick it out. So time goes on. I finished my senior year playing both sports. I go up to college at Central State University in Ohio, some of the best years of my life. And I thought I was more of a basketball player. So for my first 3 years in college, I kept trying to do the basketball thing. Kept trying out, but it really wasn't going my way. I made the team further and further, but I really didn't make the cut. The day before school started my 3rd year in college, I'm eating dinner with some of my classmates, friends, and some football players. And they were talking about football trials the next day. And I said, I'm trying out tomorrow. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy because I haven't played football in 3 years, right? So I tried out, I made the team, and it was a great decision I ever made. You know, I played for a really good coach, Coach Coates. He was a very smart coach. I paid attention to everything he did. We were a pretty decent team. I had some lifelong friends, great memories, and things of that nature. So I graduate, I come back to D.C. where I'm from, and I was working at a gym as a front desk associate where I used to train during the summers when I would go home. So I was this personal trainer at the gym who would always try to get me to help him do some of the workouts for this high school he was working at in D.C. And I always tell him, no, I don't want to do football no more. I've done my purpose. I want to move on to something else in my life. So I kind of finally gave in, decided to go help them out. So I went to one of the team practices, which was around June or July, right after I graduated college. And it was a good day. The offensive coordinator, Coach Preston, he kept drilling me about questions, asking me what I think about this, how I feel about that. And I just gave him my ideas and everything. And I left, and I didn't come back for a week. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. But something told me to go back. So I went back, and I stayed for the entire year. And it was a really awesome decision, you know. So the season was over. We were pretty successful. I talked to my coach from college, and I talked to a couple of my mentors. And they told me that if you really like coaching, you really want to try it out, go to the coaches convention in January in Indianapolis, and you can connect and meet some good people and learn some new things. So I found out about this the end of November. I got all I could, got a one-way plane ticket out there, and that's pretty much how I started. So the hotel where I stayed at was really, really far from downtown Indianapolis. So in order for me to get to my hotel to the convention, which is downtown, I had to catch a shuttle from my hotel to the airport, and I was at the airport at 6:30 in the morning. I had to catch a 1-hour bus ride to get to downtown Indianapolis. And then at the end of the convention each day, I caught the last bus at 11:50 at night just to get back to my hotel and do it all over again the next day. So if I would have missed that last bus, I'd have been stuck in downtown Indianapolis in the cold and 10-degree weather, which is not good, right? So the first day of the convention, I'm at the airport waiting on my bus, and I noticed that there were coaches. They would wear their coaches' logos and things like that. So I'm waiting on my bus. I see this guy standing in front of me about 3 feet away, and he was a coach, had his coaching gear. So I said, hey, how you doing? My name is Kenneth. I'm from D.C. I coach at Eastern Senior High School. Nice to meet you. Hey, I'm Mark Harriman. I'm the head football coach at Bates College. Nice to meet you. So we talked for about 10 minutes, and I asked for his business card, if we could stay in contact. He said, no, I don't have any, but I'll take yours. So I give him my business card, and I was a little upset because I thought he didn't want to be associated with me, right? And I had just got these nice business cards made out. It was like a very beautiful gloss print. It stuck up. You could touch it, feel the letters as it came off the ground, off the card. And he actually emailed me about 4 hours later and said, hey, it was nice meeting you. Hope everything goes well at your first convention. So convention goes great. I learned a lot of different things. I was going out there just to meet connections and take some information back to my high school where I was coaching at in D.C. So I get back to D.C. A week later, he sends me an email saying that, hey, it was great meeting you. Would you be interested in looking at a position on our staff? We may have something open up. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So a lot of my mentors suggested I should look into it because coaching college could be a great thing. So a couple months go by. They fly me out for an interview all the way up in Maine, and I was excited. Like, they put me in a hotel, put me on a flight, treated me well and everything like that. Maine is such a beautiful place. I'd be the first one to tell anybody that. So the interview process is a little bit different than what I expected. It was more so informal. We probably talked football for about 2 hours. For the most part, me and the head coach got to know each other more personal. Like, he told me how he met his wife, how he had his kids, his dogs, all this great stuff. So at the end of the interview the next day, he takes me back to the airport, and I don't know what's going on. Like, am I hired? Are you still interviewing other people? I don't know. So he just said, hey, let me know when you get back to D.C. We'll talk later. I'm like, okay, cool. So I asked him if I had the job or not. He said, oh, I'm sorry. It's yours if you want it. It's up to you. So I'm like, cool, I'll take it. So I go to Bates College in Maine for 2 years. Great experience, you know, coaching college. Definitely a different atmosphere than what I'm used to seeing. I would definitely say that. And I was there for 2 years. So I coached receivers, and I helped out in the weight room. And my first year there, I coached this kid named Mike Tomeno. He was a senior, and I was his coach. Then the second year he graduated, he decided to come back to Bates. How about as a basketball coach, because he was the manager, and he decided to coach football, so we got more personal and everything. So at the end of that second year, we both go our separate ways to go coach at different schools. So around this time last year, he reached out to me in April of 2018 saying that, hey, we may have something up on our staff. Would you want to look into it? I told him not really, because I wanted to stay where I was at last year, and I wanted to help that program get better over the following year. I wanted to be there for an extra year to help things out. And he said, okay, just let me know. So I ignored him the best way I could, right? About 10 days later, the head coach here, Coach Berryman, called me out of nowhere, said, hey, Kenny, Tomeno told me great things about you. You know, this is what about union, things like that. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds nice, right? And then he told me, no, we're going to try to get you for the interview. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't reach back out to him. I wasn't even trying to pursue the opportunity. Then about 6 days later, I believe, he actually gave me a call back saying, hey, can you come up for an interview on this day? So I just kind of gave in and said, okay, cool, I'll come. So I come for the interview, and that's pretty much how it pretty much worked out and everything like that while I got up here. And I will be the first one to tell you that me coming here was something that I had no intentions of doing. I'm a football coach. I've been doing it for about 6 years. I never asked to be a football coach. This life chose me, right? It's been situations in my life that led me here. I'll give you one example. I tried to quit football twice. High school and I graduated college. I found my way back into it, right? As you guys know, as a college athlete, football and perspective, you'll get a game plan on every single opponent that you played against in college, and most people throw them away the day after the game. I played in over 30 college football games. I have every single game plan that I've ever played against my opponent. Talking about roster, depth chart, all that great stuff. And I played college football 7 to 9 years ago. You know, one of my biggest experiences as a college athlete was we were playing in a game. We were in the 2-minute procedure for most of the game because we played against a very good team. And I was on that person that was pretty much 4 to 5 receivers, and I wasn't fast enough. So that's kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But one of the coaches tapped me on my shoulder during the game. He said, hey, put this on. It was a headset. So I put the headset on. It's my offensive coordinator. He liked being in the booth. That was his deal. So he's talking to me saying that, hey, Kenny, I need you. Don't nobody know nothing on the sidelines. You know everything. Signaling in all the plays for me, okay? I got you. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Cool, no problem. So I signaled everything like that. And that was a pretty good experience. I'm like, okay, cool. So after the game, my offensive coordinator said, I appreciate everything you did for me, man. Thank you. I'm like, coach, it's not a big deal. I got you. Say less. And he said, yeah, I'm going to make you to a great OC one day. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. But that shows you that if you have a talent or ability, you should pursue it. If there are signs that are guiding you in a certain direction, you might want to act on it. You know, I didn't ask to be here. Something led me here, and I don't know what my exact purpose is, but I do know I have to trust a certain individuals and a certain being that's guiding me to do something great. Now, as far as my giving concern, I can't really pinpoint exactly what it is. Maybe it's trying to get the best out of my players, the people I work with, my profession. The way I look at my profession is that I want to do the best I can for anybody I come in contact with, right? I don't care about being liked there's a bonus in my profession, the way I see it. I want people to be able to understand and respect me for the work I try to put in. Even if I fail and I just can't get it done, regardless of what it is, somebody can say, dang, he tried. I'm okay with that. When my friend Coach Tomano actually recommended me come here, I hope it was something that he just more than liked me. It was something that he actually believed in because I coached him and I worked with him. You see what I'm saying? And for those who may not interact or engage in their purpose or their natural abilities, you are a selfish person. You're being disrespectful to those around you and your higher source of power. Believe it or not, people don't want to come to the realization that they're affecting someone when they're being lazy, when they're not giving their all. I can tell you this right now, even though I started accepting my role as a coach and I got more into my career, I've done a lot of things I did not want to do because I'm not a selfish person. I coach a lot of different all-conference players and things of that nature. I don't go off the bat saying, hey, I did this for this guy, I coached this guys. I did my job. If it's on my resume, I did my job. I don't want nothing more, nothing less. Just a thank you, keep it moving. That's how I pretty much feel about it, you know. And I know how it feels to not doing better at something and wondering what if or what could have happened. And I try to instill that to all the people I come in contact with. In my profession, you want to get the best out of your players, your athletes, that those around you, yourself, make them better on both a personal and a athletic standpoint because you're dealing with young teenagers, young adults. I know I understand that I have some kind of importance to that person. And every time I wake up, I have opportunity to impact somebody's life, whether I feel like doing it or whether I don't feel like doing it, because it's not up to me. It's up to make sure I do my job to get them ready, you know, and towards that. And when it comes towards, you know, acting on your purpose that you give, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And to be honest, you can have one purpose, you can have two purposes in life, you can have a purpose at any given moment. As for divine intervention, I saw a guy at the airport who I never even thought about in my life. We came from two different worlds. Something inside of him said that I'm going to give you an opportunity to coach on my staff, and I don't even know you. And I went out to Indianapolis on blind faith. I caught a one-way plane ticket to go out there. I didn't have a way back. I found out about the convention a month and a half in advance. The day before the convention over, I had to call my boys from back home, tell them to send me some money so I could catch a bus back. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you just got to live on blind faith and take a shot. And if you know what you're supposed to be really good at, just act on it. It could come 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I can't tell you because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm meant to do in life. I can't really figure it out yet, but I'll probably figure it out at some point, right? And with that being said, one of my favorite quotes that I like to live by is, I took my heart away from money. I'm not interested in fame, and I pray that never change. Ambition is priceless. That's something that's in your veins. And I put that on my name. For Lauren. Thank you.